am the founder and programmer and game designer of Pyrodactyl games. I've been making games for 6.5 years and have released 5 of them so far. The first thing I would say is that don't always plan for the best possible case. The second thing is to play to your strengths. Okay. If you're not a good artist, like I'm not a good artist, so in that case I just get somebody good at art, somebody who can like complement my skill set. The third thing is that since it's a collaborative and creative medium, there should be a lot of communication.
Tell me more about Pyrodactyl.
Okay, so we make PC games. And most of them are role-playing games. The first game we released in, I think it was 2009, and it was the atypical RPG. And then the second game was in 2011. It was Will Fight for Food. And then the third one released this year. It was called Unrest.
Okay.
So yeah, all of them. Like one of my major inspirations is like Deus Ex and Planescape Torment. So my games tend to be focus on narrative side and try to incorporate
like more
multiple
of a story building.
Yeah, story building and multiple pathways to achieve your goal. Okay. And like the game doesn't try to hold your hand and to look this is the best way to play.
Okay. So tell me more about Unrest, Ashanti.
Yeah.
I've been reading very good rave reviews about the game. So give us a little dope about the game.
Okay, so the game is set in ancient India and it's a quasi-realistic world. There are bits of fantasy element in it. But the majority of the game focuses on 4 ordinary characters. Like there's a farmer girl, there's a priest, there's a princess, and there's a warrior.
Okay.
And how their lives intersect. So these are roughly from 4 different castes and social
so it's
orders,
like a mini movie in a game.
Yeah, a big part of the narrative was actually inspired by Pulp Fiction. You know how characters end up doing very ordinary things, and yet it turns out to be this engrossing tale where you are like, oh my god, what's going to happen next?
Okay.
So a lot of the narrative involves these 4 characters. You follow their paths as they crisscross and influence each other. Okay. And oftentimes like one character doesn't even know they're influencing the lives of the other 3.
Okay.
But somehow it just ends up, that way. So
you seem to be a fan of film noir. Is it right?
Yeah, I draw my influences from a lot of places. Like, like there's the like books, movies, pretty much any creative medium. Because I think like every medium has its own merits. Because like often there's the case of like we are like, oh yeah, games are the new medium, so we don't have to. We can just leave everything we have behind. But that's a bit of a odd thing to say because every medium can give you their own lessons and how to.
Okay, so like you said, you've been 6 years into gaming now.
Yeah.
You started your own company. You've got a couple of games. You've got very good reviews on a lot of them. And what else can a gaming entrepreneur look forward to? If you're starting out as a gaming entrepreneur, that you want to start your own company, you want to create a team, a tight team, which can make the best possible games, which can give competition to like the other major players. What would that be?
Well, I'd actually say that like the start should at least be small because like when you're a new team, you're yet to get used to each other. You like what you might think your strengths are. It might not actually turn out to be the case once you're in an environment with 4 other creative people. So the key thing is to figure out why are you in this business.
Okay.
So like it can be any reason. Like it can be like creative. Like I want to create this work of art that everyone's going to appreciate, or like you just want to create. You want like like your own personal demons. Like you think putting them in game form will help, or you can just be like, oh yeah, no, like gaming, like it's making money, so I'm just going to do that. Like none of them is like.
So have you ever thought on the lines of like, okay, this is making money, so I should go for it, or have you rather? I'd rather work on my creativity. Has that ever happened to you? Has that fight ever happened?
Well, so far it's like luckily the stars seem to have aligned. So like the creative work gets the more recognition and the more success. So because actually Unrest, like when I was starting out, I wasn't confident in like I was like, well, like I love ancient India and stuff, but like will everyone else? So I was like, maybe I can like try to tone it down a bit, introduce a bit of like standard elves, dwarves, that kind of thing. But then like in the middle of the project when it was not working out and like everyone in the team was like, no, we don't like what we have, and like that's the worst feeling to have as a creator when you are making something you don't like.
Yeah.
So then we went back to the drawing board. We were like, no, I asked myself the question, why am I making this game?
Okay.
So again, my idea was that like ancient India, I wanted to tell stories that we hear like from our parents and from our books and such, but like the world doesn't. So I was like, yeah, I'm more interested in that. And then due to like just because of the time that was in, I was sort of like Pulp Fiction took my interest. So then I was like, yeah, that's the best way to do it, because what we have, like the caste system, you know, it's very rigid. You can move between the castes.
True.
So then what you do is you have one protagonist from each caste, and that's when the pieces fell together.
Okay.
And that's when, you know, it was the like, yes, now we have something that we really want to work on.
So tell me one thing, Arvind. So what can we expect from Pyrodactyl coming in the future?
Well, right now we are working on another game. It's called Late to the Party, and it's an espionage RPG in a Cold War setting.
Okay, I thought late to the party, like, okay, so it's an RPG. What happens when you're like late to a party? Quite realistically, that would be fun, because then there will be like people like, "Tu kyun late aaya?" That would happen.
Yeah, no, it actually is a game about you being a KGB agent who's late to a Baltic state that's in a revolution, and the party is actually the Communist Party.
Ooh,
yeah, so
some interesting thought gone behind.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that game out. But thank you for being here,
Yeah.
Arvind. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.